Good afternoon, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. Welcome back to our channel. Have you ever dreamed of living in a log cabin somewhere in nature, surrounded by forest and wildlife? Well, if you have, you're going to want to come along with me today as we check out this property here on River Road in the town of Milo, Maine. What we're going to see today is a log cabin, just under 1,700 square feet. Got 3 bedrooms, a bath. We got all kinds of cool things in the house, plus expansive decks and landscaping and fields and woods and trails. And this all sits on 48 acres of land, so you're going to want to stick around and see all of it. We got a little stream on the property and a beaver pond as well. So let's go take the tour together. Hey, before we get started and take the tour of this property here at 291 River Road, Milo, welcome back to all you subscribers to our channel. And if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscription button, put on all notifications. You won't miss the next video that we put out. One of my favorite parts of this property, we're down here on a road that just ends not too far down the road from here. Really quiet location. We've been here for an hour and a half doing some other work. I've seen 2 cars since I've been down here. This, you can see the electricity comes in off the road to this pole, and then it goes underground from here to the house. And one of my favorite features of this property is this long winding driveway that comes in. And I mean, it's not ridiculously long, so maintenance shouldn't be a problem, but it's very well done. Crusher dust on the surface, one of my favorite materials for Maine. It doesn't have the problems of asphalt or the environmental issues. As you come in here, you can see we got a little lawn section. Really nice. This property is landscaped just beautifully, and we're here in mid-November, so the flowers are all gone and dead, but that's okay. This shed here, 10 by 12. If you want to see the inside of these sheds, you're going to have to come up here and look at the property with me. But that's that houses, the drilled well is inside there, so that's the first building you're going to see. We got a big kind of a cul-de-sac wraparound loop or rotary around for a driveway. Left a real heavy canopy of trees between the house and the road. You cannot see the road or the house. You can't see the house from the road or the road from the house. Got a nice little duck pond here. Got some ducks, and then, as I said, here's the house we started at earlier. You saw that at the beginning of the video, but it's a beautiful log home built in 2001. We got 1,670 plus or minus square feet of living space. We'll show you inside a little bit later, but right now we're going to check out the exterior of the home. So let's go around and check out the backyard. Oh, before we do, just pointing out here, we got the 6 by 32 foot farmer's porch on the front of the house, access through the eating kitchen area, and that's a really nice feature. Sit out here in the evenings and watch the sunset. All right, come up here onto this first section of deck in the backyard, and you can see you got a couple planter boxes out here. My client still has some lettuce and carrots growing in the middle of November. This is a 17 by 18 foot section of deck. We come up 5 steps, and we've got 12 by 18 in this area. Great place. He's got a table and chairs over here, and then this section over here is 10 by 36. I don't have to tell you folks, if you've built a deck lately, we've got a fair amount of value sitting outside here. All this is all enclosed. We do have an area alongside the deck if you've got dogs, and like I said, if you live up here in Maine, you gotta have a dog or 2 or 3. Got a place for them to keep them in the pen. We'll check out the other buildings out here. Let's go look at the sheds and the greenhouse. As we come off the deck, we got a beautiful fire pit here. If you can sit around the campfire at night, let's walk back over here. To my right, we've got 8 raised beds. Beautiful place to grow some vegetables and get them up off the ground. Those of you who haven't had raised beds, you don't know what you're missing. We've got some fruit trees off to the left. This building here is 12 by 20. My client had alpacas here at one time. It's kind of a little alpaca barn. Big garden plot off to the left. We got more fruit trees off in the distance. This clearing area, you'll see this on our interactive map, and don't forget to check that out. If you're really interested in taking a hard look at this property and the land and how it's situated, check out the land ID map that's attached to the listing here in the description. Over here, We've got a 10 by 16 Amish style shed with a metal roof. Great for lawn and garden storage, whatever. And then over here, we've got a 20 by 24 foot greenhouse. And there is a door to access the back of this building. Over there, we've got a tractor barn. So if you got your Kubota, your John Deere, or whatever tractor you got, you can park it over in there out of the weather. And you got places around the yard here for all your implements. And hey, you know, maybe you want to put up a big barn. And you can kind of see here in the greenhouse how this is all set up. Of course, it's not growing season, but you get the idea. Let's go check out a little more of the land around the property. Welcome to Maine in November, folks. We got here a beautiful sunny day, 40 degrees, and now it's snowing. But hey, if you owned this property and you had a place like this for gardening, what would you do? Would you grow vegetables, flowers, fruit trees? Share that in the comments down below. We'll talk about the location while we're walking at 291 River Road here in the town of Milo. Milo is a town of about 2,200 people. It's a real small town here in far eastern Piscataquis County. Great spot to call home. Very friendly people over here. We're about 38 miles from the city of Bangor at this location. So you can be in Bangor in less than an hour. So that you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere here, folks, but you can be at an international airport 40 minutes and you're out of here. The downtown of Milo, believe it or not, is only 3.5 miles from this location. If you want to hit a grocery store, some shopping, some restaurants, you can do that pretty quick from here. The city of Dover-Foxcroft, which is the largest town in Piscataquis County and the county seat, that's 14 miles from this location. That's the nearest hospital, Mayo Regional Northern Light Hospital there. Car dealers, doctors' offices, big grocery stores. Everything you could use and need. It's 15-20 minutes drive from here, so it's rural, but it's not too bad. We're walking a trail right now, and I want to tell you a little bit about the area here surrounding Milo. This is a great property if you're a hunter, and I'm going to tell you a couple of really cool facts about this area. Number one, there's a lot of deer in this part of the state of Maine. Whitetail is what Maine has. We're at deer season right now. As a matter of fact, we also have a lot of ruffed grouse. I saw one right there earlier when I was shooting photos for the interactive map. Just down the road, we got Three Rivers wing shooting. That's a 500-acre property. It's been in business for, I think, going on 30 years or more now. And Al has told us we can give us permission to give a couple of shots. We'll show you here in the B-roll. But what a cool spot. If you want to go shoot some pheasants, maybe shoot some quail, Three Rivers wing shooting, pretty cool spot. Like I said, over 400, near 500 acres of land to hunt. That's a cool thing, and it's right down the road from the property here. All right, what else can we do around the Milo area here of River Road? Well, 15 minutes west, we've got Sebec Lake. 15 minutes east, we've got Schoodic Lake. They're two of the largest lakes here in central Maine. Both of them are over 100 feet deep. Schoodic is, I think, 7,000 acres. I think Sebec is pretty close to the same size. Crystal clear water, cold water fishery for lake trout, landlocked salmon, brook trout, and in the shallows, they've got some pretty exceptional smallmouth bass fishing. So that's a cool feature of this region. We're also about a 45-minute, maybe an hour's drive over to Moosehead Lake, which is Maine's largest lake. If you haven't heard about it, check it out on the map. It's one of the largest lakes in the United States, east of the Mississippi. And finally, this Three Rivers town of Three Rivers, Milo, the Piscataquis River, which is a tributary of the Penobscot, the Sebec River, and the Pleasant River all come together here in the town of Milo. It's a really cool area if you like paddling, bird watching, bald eagles on those three rivers. Everywhere you go, you're going to see bald eagles. Let's keep walking the land. I'll tell you a little bit about this property and what I like about it. As we walk along the trail, there are a couple of nice trails through the property. This is the main one that runs out of the back of the fields. And unlike a lot of places that I show you, this ground here is relatively level. And check out this topo on this property, as we'll see in the overlay here. Yeah, the elevations here are running 280 to 300 feet above sea level. So we only have a 20-foot elevation change on 48 acres of land. So If you're getting older like I am, maybe you got a family member who loves to hunt but's got a physical disability, it's real easy to get around in here, putting a trail in almost anywhere. I think a lot of this may have been old pasture land. There doesn't seem to be a lot of rocks, and it's pretty level, like it had been cleared at one time. The soils here are mostly Swanville, Wonsquek, and they're somewhat hydric. They're growing trees well. They actually will do great for pasture and some limited farmland. Not great for intensive farming. You probably have a little too much water in them. But you can see what's growing here. We got a lot of maple. We got a lot of poplar trees growing. Some balsam firs around the brook off here to our left. We're going to check that out here shortly. But if you can imagine, walking through the woods here, it's really nice. And we've got the brook and the beaver pond. We're going to show you both. You can see the beaver pond on the aerial imagery as well as the drone shot. But that's a cool little feature. Nice habitat for ducks and geese and wading birds. You're not going to see this brook. It's not a really large brook. It's running right here behind me. I imagine it runs most of the year. It looks like it's got a pretty defined creek bed. You'll see the overlay on our land ID map. It'll show the location, or pretty close to the location of the stream. But this is a water source that all the wildlife around here take advantage of. If you're a hunter, it'd be a great place to set up on a ladder here somewhere on one of the larger trees. But just another feature on the property. All right, as we walk back up from the brook, we just jumped the grouse on the way in there. I've seen several of them here today already. What's the most exciting animal you've ever seen on your property? Share that in the comments below. I've heard some incredible tales of wildlife encounters on people's back porches, but please share that with us. We're going to head back to the backyard of the house now and check out that beaver pond on the way back. Before I do, I almost forgot. For those who like to ride ATV snowmobiles, the trail's not on the property, but if you head out the driveway just across the road, there's a maintained trail system for both ATVs and snowmobiles. So that's kind of a nice feature. If you love the outdoors like I do, most of my clients do, you're going to have a hard time finding a nicer property than this one, folks. Hey, as we walk back to the cabin on this land, what would you do with this 48 acres? Would you get some livestock, maybe expand the garden, grow a little organic farm here, or maybe just enjoy the peace and quiet of having a large tract of land? Share in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts on what you do with this property. All right, we're over here at the beaver dam location. We can see where the beavers have been sliding out of here, and the beaver house is right there, although it looks abandoned. I see another bigger one down at the other end. It's a pretty good sized pond, maybe, I don't know, an acre, maybe an acre and a quarter. So it doesn't take up a lot of the real estate, but cool land, cool feature, maybe a good place to put up a little duck blind, call some ducks and geese in here. That could be fun. So welcome to the inside of this beautiful log cabin. Let's see, we're kind of coming to this breezeway, or it's not breezeway, it's more like a mud room. It's a connecting room, all heated, separating the kitchen and the living area from one side and the living space over here, the living room. Let's go in and take a look at this. Look at this big room, roughly 20 by 30, hardwood floors, vaulted ceilings, beadboard on the ceiling, absolutely beautiful room. One of the highlights of this room is this stone hearth here. You can see there has an oil heating system here now. I guess if you wanted to put a wood stove in, more power to you. Pop that out, sell that, and put a wood stove in. Or if you like the convenience, this is an oil stove, works nice. And this right here is actually the pump that pumps oil up to the system. We do have some additional space over here overlooking the backyard and the deck. Let's go on upstairs. This is a spare bedroom on this side of the house, and we'll look at that next. All right, coming upstairs into this first of two loft bedrooms, we've got approximately 9 by 15 feet here. 9 feet, actually it's wider than that, but at a 5-foot level. Over here we got about 9 foot of width. So we count that into the actual living space instead of the floor area because of the ceiling height. For those you know, you know. We got this 5-fold door up here, which kind of makes it nice because you can open this up, let some heat from the living area come up, or keep it closed for sleeping. Let's go check out the rest of the house. Coming out of the mudroom now into the kitchen and living space, and this is a really nice sized room. I think we've got 14 by 20 in this eat-in kitchen area. Notice you've got granite countertops. We've got tile on the floor. It's beautiful. We've got wood cabinets with some glass work in here. The gas range will convey with the property, dishwasher, and we've got a refrigerator. And over here, we've got a wood pellet stove. And again, this is a great source of heat. State of Maine gets cold, as you know, and wood is a really good heating source. So that's what heats this section of the house. It does have a forced hot air oil furnace down cellar, and we're going to show you that a little bit later. But overall, the wood here is a good part of the heating of this home. So let's walk over here, check out the bathroom and the master bedroom. Okay, leaving the kitchen area, we come down the short hallway and then into this big bathroom. There is a washer dryer hookup here, kind of a step-in shower with a complete surround. It's got all kinds of space in here, glass doors, very nicely done. We've got tile on the floor and kind of a cool little corner flush. And then as we come back out of this bathroom, we take a quick right and we're into the 12 by 20 master bedroom. This room's got a couple closets in it, plenty of room for a king-size bed, desk, chest of drawers, anything else you need. Let's go check out the loft upstairs over this bedroom. All right, coming up the stairs to the second loft area. And this, again, the floor area here, usable at 5 feet, is about 9 feet by 15 feet. We got some extra space in the knee wall area, plus out over the kitchen. And as you can see, this is open to the living space. They do use it for company, for guest bedroom. If you didn't need a third bedroom, you wanted to use it for something else, it'd be a great spot for crafts, an office, maybe an art studio, whatever you're looking to do. Let's go back, and now we're going to go check out the basement. All right, coming down into the cellar stairs. The access to the cellar is actually through the master bedroom. This section of home, the 20 by 32 section, has a full concrete poured basement. The mudroom and the living space, the living room on the other side, have a concrete crawl space, so there's no full standing height there. Don't really need it, but there we go. So we've got a central vac system over here, as you see to the left. Here we got the Lennox forced hot air oil heating system, and over here in this corner, we've got a Rinnai on-demand gas water heater. So that's all set up here. Your oil tank, 250-gallon oil tank. And then over here, we've got a water softener system. You may or may not know this. State of Maine typically has pretty hard water. So the iron and manganese are typically the problem. The salt system takes care of that. All right, that kind of wraps up the basement. There is a door here to the exterior with a bilco that you'll see out on that end of the home. That's all closed up and insulated for the winter. We've got the actually it's a 200 amp circuit breaker panel. This is over here in the, I guess this would be the, yeah, I don't know what corner this is. I'm in the basement. I don't have my compass out. But anyway, it's here in the corner of the basement, 200 amp panel. And this is your generator hookup coming in from outdoors. Hey, thanks folks for taking the tour with us of this property here in Milo today. What a great property. Check it out. The price is $560,000. The taxes are over here. We got 48 acres of land, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, just under 1,700 square feet of living space. The sheds, the greenhouse, the cleared land, you name it. If you want more information, give me a call at 800-286-6164. Don't forget, check out the Matterport virtual tour if you want to see what the interior design looks like. Check out the land ID map with all those geo-reference photos so you can get a real good feel for what this property is before you call me, and then I'd be happy to show you around. All right. Oh, shit. That would have been funny. You filming? Yep. If I'd have fallen head first in that, you would have had to bleep most of it.